In this video, we're going to take a look at a pretty straightforward limit problem in the fact that all you have is algebra manipulation. What makes this limit a little bit more challenging is the fact that the algebra that you have to go through to manipulate it is not as obvious as it should be. So the trick to this type of limit problem here is choosing to multiply through by a form of 1, and I'm going to choose to use cosine x over cosine x. And like I said, initially this is not going to be the most intuitive thing, all right? But I'm now going to take a look at that tangent x. And with that tangent x, if I do a trig substitution of sine over cosine, then when I go to distribute this, the cosines will fall out. So my next step then is going to be the limit as x approaches that pi over 4. I'm going to write this numerator as 1 minus the sine x over cosine x. I'm going to go ahead and put the set of parentheses around that, keeping this cosine here in the top. And then in the bottom, just simply writing sine x minus cosine x, putting the set of parentheses around that, and leaving that cosine x there. All right, I am going to then distribute that cosine x there, and there's where the cosines are going to cross out. So then I'm going to have the limit as x approaches pi over 4. In the numerator, we will have a cosine x minus. When I multiply and distribute here, the cosines fall out. I will have a sine x. All right, in the bottom, I am not going to distribute or anything. I want to leave that because if I really pay attention to what's in the numerator and then what's in the denominator, I see, hopefully, that cosine minus sine and sine minus cosine, those are really close. The only thing there is that they are basically opposites. So I'm allowed to cross these out as long as I put in a -1. So I'm going to choose to put it in the top. So I'm going to cross those two quantities out, and then that's going to leave me with a -1 in the top there. So then I'm going to have the limit as x approaches pi over 4, and I'm going to have a -1 on top, and then just a nice little cosine x on the bottom. At this point, then, I'm ready to do a direct substitution, so I can drop the limit notation. I'll have a -1 over the cosine of pi over 4, and hopefully on the unit circle you have this memorized as a square root of 2 over 2. So replacing the cosine of pi over 4's value there, I'll have a -1 over square root of 2 over 2. All right, a little bit of multiplying through there by the least common denominator. So multiplying by 2, that'll give us a -2 over square root of 2. And then we probably ought to go ahead and rationalize that. So multiplying by square root of 2 over square root of 2. Okay, then we'll be left with a -2 square root of 2 over 2. Those 2's can cross out. We'll get down to a negative square root of 2. So after you get over that initial, okay, I've got to multiply by a form of 1 and think ahead that this is going to be sine over cosine so that those cosines cross out. All right, that's just really intuitive. So that's what makes this limit so hard. But after those initial algebra steps, it becomes just a straightforward limit problem. Definitely thanks for watching. If the videos are helping, please share with your friends so they can benefit too. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.